Welcome to episode 47 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name's Chris.
I'm George. Hi, Chris. How you doing today?
I'm good. Do you realize that we're quickly approaching a year of us doing this?
Yeah, and it's been one hell of a year.
Yeah. I still am in shock that we've survived this long, thanks to the fine people listening, because they're amazing.
As always, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. It's a very busy show. So busy, in fact, that we're not even fucking doing matches of the week because we don't have time. We don't have time, okay?
We don't have time. There's no time, Chris. No time.
The priorities must be addressed, and the priorities are recapping so many things.
Yes,
because so many things have happened. Yeah.
I feel like I've watched about 55 hours of wrestling in about 3 days.
That's insane to
I don't want to see any half-naked men grapple for like another day or so.
I can certainly appreciate that. Oh my goodness. All right. So last week we had our Royal Rumble Super Show. So let's just jump right into the Royal Rumble itself and the fallout therefrom. Do we have any number of shits to give about the pre-show? Because I sure as hell don't.
No. I was in transit to my Rumble party. I was heading to my friend's house.
The long and the short of
how about the crowd not caring about Mojo Rawley being the surprise?
Yeah, I would hope that they wouldn't care.
Happy birthday! We have a birthday in the chat.
Holy shit, we've got a birthday.
Yeah.
Adam Rice. Holy shit.
Happy birthday.
How old are you, Adam?
Thanks for spending your birthday with us. You get 24 hours on your birthday, and you're going to spend 2 of them with us. Chris, that's commitment.
Yeah. Hell yeah. This is a guy who knows the important things in life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Real quick, run down the pre-show.
Yeah, sure.
They had a repeat of the 6-man tag from 205 Live where the Lucha guys defeated the heels. The Revival 50-50'd with Gallows and Anderson.
There was like 6 people in the building, it looked like.
Yeah. The Revival 50-50'd with Gallows and Anderson following the Raw 25 match. And Bobby Roode defeated surprise challenger Mojo Rawley in a U.S. Championship match that nobody cared about.
You know, it was allegedly supposed to be Adam Cole.
Yeah, I saw that.
But then they realized that having Adam Cole lose in 8 minutes to the Glorious DDT was probably a bad idea.
Yeah,
and it is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I get why they didn't do that.
It's bad to have Dumpster Ric Flair be defeated by Salvation Army Ric Flair in 8 minutes. It just doesn't work all that well.
Actually, to me, Adam Cole is Dumpster Shawn Michaels more than he's Dumpster Ric Flair.
Oh, okay. I thought the progression was Ric Flair, Triple H, Bobby Roode, Adam Cole, but
it's Ric Flair. Yeah, no, I think Adam Cole's closer to Shawn Michaels.
Okay, that's fair.
This whole indie trend of people trying to be Shawn Michaels when there's only one Shawn Michaels, not so good.
And Shawn Michaels really wasn't. I don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose the thread. Whoa. In the ring. Hot take.
In the ring. Personality. The guy was a
early Shawn was what's up. Early Shawn when he was the actual Heartbreak Kid.
Okay,
and he was like high out of his mind. That's what's up.
Pre-injury Shawn Michaels.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
Pre-injury.
Post-injury
Shawn. That was the good stuff. The run that most people will remember because that was when things started to be televised a lot more. That was no good. But
yeah, no. The whole I'm gonna sell for an hour at a time and try to act and not be very good at it, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the actual hands off the merchandise with Sister Sherry, Sky Point, and pre-back injury Shawn Michaels. That was pretty great. That was pretty great. So, but yeah, Adam Cole not as great as either version of Shawn Michaels. But it wouldn't have been bad if he lost to Bobby Roode in 7 minutes in front of a crowd that didn't care.
Yeah. Adam Rice significantly better than Adam Cole. 28 years old today. Congratulations,
Adam Rice, baby.
Very nice. All right. now let's jump onto the main card. A lot of things happened.
Speaking of dumpster fires, we got the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn handicap match out of the way nice and early, which was very nice of them.
Yeah, thank you. Thankfully, WWE decided to just front load all the crap to the front of the card.
Yeah.
Well, most of the crap to the front of the card. There was still some crap in the middle of it, but most of the crap was loaded to the front of the card in this handicap match.
Yeah, this match was no good. Did not make my spreadsheet.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Anything above 3.5. Anything above 3.5 makes the spreadsheet. This match did not make the spreadsheet, so that should tell you where. I think I went. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even care. 3, sure. Why? Whatever. 2. AJ Styles is great. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are a lot of fun outside of the ring. Whatever.
No, Sami Zayn is pretty good inside the ring too, but they really just they didn't give them much to work with. This match had 15 minutes. This was a 15, 16-minute match, and it was just the whole thing is that this match was predicated around a feud that was no good, and therefore...
And it must continue!
The feud that is no good easily translates itself into making matches no good, and that is what happened here.
Yeah. Here's the deal. If you have 2 or 3 guys or ladies or whatever in a match, and they're going through a match when nobody cares, congrats. You're watching gymnastics, basically. Okay, you're watching the Winter Olympics starts in 2 weeks. You can watch the pairs ice skating, and it's just as much heat. And they're on a sheet of ice.
Yep.
That's basically what this is. Anyway, any wrestling match. And it's just whatever. I mean, AJ's a warlock. We've discussed him over and over, and deservedly so. But even he can't get me to care about this feud. This feud's garbage.
A warlock. I like that descriptor. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. And you know what? And Madeline's right. There's no end in sight for this story. Nope. You know what? And get ready. And get ready for the double pin that's coming at the pay-per-view. The German suplex where both shoulders are on the ground. So that
no, because next week they're going to.
Oh, that's what I meant. Next week we're getting the double pin. The double pin, man, it's coming. So that way they have another handicap match or something, or a triple threat or something.
It's something like that. I think eventually this is what devolves into the third Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn feud in WWE, and
I hope Sami's the heel for 2 reasons.
The third time is not the charm. Let me just say that. I hope
Sami's the heel for 2 reasons.
Well, no, because here's the thing. Kevin Owens is fat, therefore he's always going to be the bad guy. So it's going to be heel versus heel, and it's going to have no heat to it.
Kill me. Let me tell you why I hope Sami Zayn's the heel in this feud and Kevin Owens is the babyface. One, I still think there's lots of mileage left on the Sami Zayn character.
Yes.
In terms of being this smarmy D-bag dancing guy.
Absolutely.
And 100%. 2, it would make Sami Zayn look like the ultimate dweeb if Kevin Owens punked his ass out again.
Yeah.
In WWE.
Yeah. Sami technically won the first main roster feud. He lost the NXT feud, but he did technically win the first main roster feud.
But it would make Sami look like the ultimate loser if Kevin Owens betrayed him again.
Yeah.
So the biggest loser, the ultimate.
Diamond Dogs. I'm with you on that. Yeah, never again.
Diamond ain't wrong, and Kevin Owens is rapidly climbing my list of guys I don't care about when the bell rings.
Yeah, they've just run this thing into the ground and still have the engine going full tilt to try and forcefully get it 6 feet under. It's
no damn good.
Yeah.
So, anything else on this?
No.
This match?
I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad we're moving on.
Yeah, we're not moving on. We're stuck with
I'm
this
glad
for
AJ Styles is close to moving on.
Yes, we're stuck with this for another cycle. But, okay.
I'm glad that AJ Styles is close to moving on from this.
What happened after this? The Raw tag or SmackDown tag, right?
The Usos in a 2 out of 3 falls match defeated Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin 2 falls to 0. Shockingly,
my dream. I asked for 2 things in this card. I asked for 2 things in this card. I asked for a clean sweep in this 2 out of 3 falls match because change of pace, which I got. And I asked for, we'll get to the men's rumble, a mini match at the end of the rumble, which we got.
Yes.
So I cannot complain about this show, Chris. I asked for 2 things. I got 2 things. I am 2-0. Quite happy.
Well done.
You know? So I like the clean sweep. I knew it was something weird was going on. They were all hitting their finishers like 6 minutes in, and and not pinning each other. Like Shelton hits the painter, 2 count. Usos hit the splash, 2 count. Super kick party, 2 counts. I'm like, oh, okay. It's weird. They're front loading everything in this first fall.
Yes.
And then lo and behold, the first fall was one of 2 falls.
Yes, it worked out well. I have to say.
Yeah, it was a fun match.
Usos seem to be moving on to.
I think I went 3.5. I think 3.5 sounds about right.
Yeah, I went 3 just because they really didn't give Gable and Benjamin a whole lot to work with to really show their stuff, but that's all right. All in all, can't complain.
It's not making any match of the year anytime soon, but it was enjoyable, especially that first fall.
Yeah, like the fact that it ended on a roll up for the surprise actually was kind of cool. I thought that was actually kind of cool. The surprise spin. I actually enjoyed that.
Okay.
I don't mind that.
I love that it was 2 straight falls. Every now and again, keep you on your toes.
I'm just wondering what's next for Gable and Benjamin, because if they're out of the title picture, then what are we going to do with them? Because they're two great wrestlers, but without them in the title picture, the title picture for SmackDown's tag teams is like the only thing, unless you're part of the
exactly. There are very few non-title feuds in the tag team division. That are like long-term feuds, especially on SmackDown. We only have 2 hours. In SmackDown, you have 2 hours.
That's true for SmackDown. Period. Most of their
in SmackDown you have 2 hours,
programs.
So you have 8 segments. Give or take, right? Well, you have the WWE segment, the US segment, the tag segment, the women's championship segment. That's 4 of the 8 segments right there.
You have at least 2 talking segments.
At least, God forbid, right? So,
God forbid we don't have talking on a wrestling show.
I get it. I mean, Dolph Ziggler came back at number 30 in the Rumble and was nowhere to be seen on this show.
Yeah.
Not that I'm pining for Dolph Ziggler. I mean,
Oh God.
I'm just saying.
If you're pining for Dolph Ziggler, you need to get your priorities in order.
Yeah,
I'm going to come right out and say that.
I would be furious with fever or something if I'm pining for Dolph Ziggler. But I'm just using it as an example, Chris. Dolph Ziggler came out at 30, quote, like the surprise number 30 entrance in the Rumble, and he was MIA from the show.
Same music also. Well, we'll get to that when we talk about
We'll get there. But I just use that example. Like, the show's kind of cluttered.
Yes. But that's all right. They're moving things along. I think that eventually, though, this is going to end with the next chapter of Usos New Day Mania, because I don't see either of them not making the Mania card, and I doubt they will have the New Day be hosts 2 years in a row. So I think we get the next chapter.
Yeah.
I think we go into like a one-off feud with the Bludgeon Brothers that the Usos win. And then we get back to Usos New Day for Mania.
Sure. I'm cool with that. I like the Usos New Day. The Hell in a Cell match was like in my top 15 for matches of the year.
Yeah, one of the best.
I'm okay with that.
Not a problem there at all.
I'm more than okay with it. These 5 gentlemen have awesome chemistry. They have no problems beating the ever-loving shit out of themselves and each other.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know what? You can have a way worse show opener than a 18-minute Usos New Day to open that dome.
Definitely.
You could do a lot worse than
Absolutely.
that. Far, far, far worse. So I'm more than okay with that.
Yes. All right. Next up, the men's Royal Rumble.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Chris. This is a macro question. We're going to use the term macro and micro a lot here, by the way.
Yes.
Just give me our word of the day.
Words. They're 2 words.
Who booked these Rumbles? And I mean that in a positive, because both of these Rumbles were so smartly laid out. They spaced out the surprises and major names great. They had all these mini moments in each Rumble that felt so organic. At no point did each of these matches went an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
At no point did it drag. At no point was it like, oh my God, it's only 20 minutes in. We're on number 12, and oh my God, we got another hour of this. Yeah. At no point for either Rumble.
1 hour and 5 minutes for this Rumble.
Yeah, at no point did this Rumble drag. At no point did the women's Rumble drag.
Yeah.
Like,
they did it
everything went off without a hitch. There were no botches. Whoever agented this Rumble, whomever did it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw somewhere that it was Michael Haynes and Vince, but I mean, whoever did it, metaphorical tip of the cap to you, good sir and/or madam.
Especially after 3 straight years of really crappy Rumbles.
Yeah.
This was a welcome breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Would you give me 3 things that you liked about this Rumble? And I'll give you 3 things I liked about this Rumble.
Running down the list here. Number 1, I enjoyed Sheamus being the guy to bring Heath Slater back into the ring.
The whole Heath Slater thing was so great.
Only to immediately get eliminated by Heath Slater.
The whole Heath Slater thing. I was hoping it would go on for the entire Rumble, where every time someone kicks him, he gets a little closer. Mm-hmm. Like once I figured out what they were doing, I loved it.
Yeah. I loved Roman and Seth teaming up to eliminate The Miz, only for Roman to then turn on Seth and send him out. That was great. That was an awesome moment. And Seth's reaction afterwards sold it hard for me. Like the whole, yep, you got me. Yeah, I well played. That whole bit. Like it's a complete flip from what happened in the 2014 Rumble as a callback from when the Shield guys teamed up in the 2014 Rumble to take out, I can't remember if it was Big Show or Kane or both of them. I don't remember. And then Roman just sends both Dean and Seth up and over and staring down at them, like shaking his head, like, nope, not today, as a foreshadowing of the Shield nearly breaking up the following month.
The first time with the Seth Rollins promo.
Yeah, nearly breaking up. Yeah. This time around, when Roman sends Seth over, and Seth is just like, all right, yep, you got me. Good job, man. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. And then the third thing, the arrangement of that final 6, final 4,
team
the final
old
3,
versus team
the
new.
final 2.
Yes.
The progression from 6 to 4 to 3 to 2, like that whole
that 6 would be like the greatest 6-man tag team match of all time.
The funny thing about it,
Mysterio versus Balor, Nakamura, and Roman would be like the best 6-man tag in years.
The funniest part about it, though, the funniest part about it, I love that they like tried to portray this as like old school WWE versus new school WWE, and yet Balor and Nakamura are both as old as Randy Orton and John Cena. Yeah. It's like, exactly. It's like, well, Roman Reigns is clearly the baby here, but that's all right. It works.
Okay.
I would love a Balor Reigns Nakamura tag team. That would be so much fun to watch.
All of it would be. All of it. I loved how good Rey Mysterio looked.
Oh yeah,
he didn't have his baggy pants with the knee braces. He had like real tights, and he was like flying around like it was 2002. That I loved.
Fantastic. Yeah,
great. I would be all in on a Rey Mysterio mini run. You know what, Ray? Roman's gonna win that belt. Come on and feud with him for the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Why the fuck not?
I would be all about that.
Why not?
I'd be all about that.
I mean, I sent you that link today of Rey Mysterio at 5-star in front of about 50 people.
Yeah.
And he was still moving good. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, with Rey, his knees are made of papier-mâché. You never know. I mean, they could blow up at any time.
But Roman's a safe worker and can take care of him if needed.
I mean, it's not even on Roman. I'm just saying, like, his knees are just so beat to shit for 25 years of lucha. There's nothing... Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have no doubt Roman would do everything within his power to keep the match safe. It's just like, at this point, it's bone on bone. It's got to be like bone on bone down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love Elias being Elias, rapidly becoming one of my favorite parts of Monday Night Raw. Did you see the video I sent you with Elias and teaching Bailey how to play guitar?
Yeah. That works.
Yeah, it does.
As much as I'm like...
All of these mixed match videos are great. You know why? Because you're letting the talents be themselves, Chris. You're not massaging them with 30 writers who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, all of them.
It works.
It works.
Really well.
Braun teaching Alexa to flip over a car works. You know? Did you see the one with Braun and Alexa trading T-shirts?
Yeah, and Braun and Alexa flirting after their match.
Sammy, and you know what? Thank you. I like that Braun is like this awkward guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't he be? He's a monster among men, sure, but he's still a dude, and Alexa's still a pretty lady, and so Braun is going to be kind of awkward.
Yep.
Braun shouldn't be The Rock trading pithy one-liners. It's not who he is. He's this big-ass behemoth who likes steaks and weights and flipping tables onto people. It stands to figure that he'd be a little bit of a little hesitant with women.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I get that. I'm with you there.
It works.
It works for his character. That all he cares about is destroying things that he perceives as a threat. Alexa's not a threat. She comes up to his hip. Like, she's certainly not a threat. So, like, why? So that it stands to reason that he would be, like, nice to her.
Yeah.
So,
it works.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
It does. The whole thing works. The ginger snaps works. Blaming the birthday cake. And Becky Lynch getting hypnotized by the hat.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was probably one of my favorites.
It all works. Like nobody's watching this shit except for us in that jobs, but that's okay. Who cares?
You know what? Even if we're the only ones that are watching and appreciating this,
who cares?
You know what? It's all for the best.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. Where were we? Oh, the Rumble. What did I like? I loved Elias. I liked the 6-man at the end.
Madeline Buddy Murphy's on borrowed time. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. You know what?
Any day now, it's like here's the engagement ring back. Sorry.
And Chris, there is a long and proud tradition in this business of guys and ladies who are hanging out on the road in a stable, and then next thing you know, well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Sullivan booked his own divorce. So, like, you know that story, right, with Benoit and his wife?
No, I don't, actually.
So, Sullivan is feuding with Benoit in WCW in, like, 94. And Sullivan has the book. And the feud is supposed to be about Sullivan's manager, Nancy Benoit, who was Kevin Sullivan's wife at the time. And the whole point was that Nancy Benoit would turn on Kevin Sullivan and turn him babyface and align with Benoit and the Horsemen and turn him heel. So in order to sell it, Sullivan says, hey, Nancy, you and Chris should travel together. And like that way when you're like on the same plane, people can think that it's real and shit. This is obviously pre-Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, one thing happened to lead to another. Well, Nancy and Kevin Sullivan got a divorce, and Nancy and Chris got married. Not the first time this has happened in professional wrestling. So yeah, Buddy Murphy, be very wary.
Yeah.
Be very wary of.
I hope, Buddy Murphy. I hope that you're on the FaceTime with Alexa every single day.
Yes. Yeah, Buddy, be a little cautious.
Yeah.
So but this stuff's fun. What else did I like about this? The Rumble, using Roman and Cena as heat magnets to get Nakamura over. That was good. Real smart. Shades of last year, except nobody gave a fuck about Randy Orton.
Yeah, this year it was done extremely smartly and
very well job. Once Finn got out, and it was Nakamura, Cena, and Roman, and it was two guys that the crowd loathes with a burning passion, and one guy they love. That was well done. The 6-minute mini match between Nakamura and Roman Reigns, just enough to whet your appetite, just enough to tell me that a 25-minute, SummerSlam main event will be a pretty fucking great match.
I hope that they give it to us.
Just enough, though, Chris.
As much as I know that match will end with Roman Reigns winning, I still would love to watch that Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus WWE Champion Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, but
in the main event of SummerSlam.
It was like the egg roll before you get your mushu pork. Just a little appetizer.
Interesting that you bring up Ellsworth, Matt DSM there. It's not. I don't think that Ellsworth was the force that broke up Carmella and Cass, but Ellsworth, he recently was on Talk as Jericho, and he says that on the day that he was released, Carmella actually called him and stayed on the phone with him until she determined that he was okay with his release, and now they apparently text each other every day. So,
that's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
that's very nice.
Even if whether it's a romantic thing or just a friendship, that's awesome. That's a really great thing, and props to Leah Vandale for just being a good human being.
Yeah. That's very magnanimous of her.
Yes.
So, Yeah.
So
no, I went 4 flat for this Rumble. I thought this was a great Rumble. Battle Royals. We talked about this last week. Battle Royals usually suck.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty bad. They're hard to book.
We were forecasting this as being pretty bad too, because we didn't know a lot of the entrants. But between the surprises and the overall layout of the match, it really worked out very well, and I'm very happy with how. I
went 4 flat, which is way more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, same here.
And again, Battle Royals usually pretty garbage. This one, not at all garbage.
Mm-hmm. Good point there, Madeline. Top 6, Roman is part of the new school group there, but then when it gets to top 4, he's right alongside Cena, his fellow Golden Boy, a company man. Very, very interesting dichotomy there. How quickly that flipped. That worked very well. Very subtle, but it was very smart all the same.
Yeah, and using him and Cena as the heat magnets to get Nakamura over was pretty great. Yes. Real smart thinking there, especially for 2 guys. And of the final 4, Nakamura far and away needed the win the most.
Yes, sorry, absolutely.
And using them.
Finn's got the Balor thing.
Yeah, he's got some, but Nakamura's kind of dead in the water for the past 6 months. He was on that Survivor Series team that got punked.
Yep.
Stuck
in a never-ending tag team with Randy Orton against Zayn and Owens. Yeah.
Kill me.
Yeah. Nakamura definitely needed it more. I mean, Balor can easily use his alliance with Gallows and Anderson to keep himself at the front of the radar.
Sure, absolutely.
Nakamura definitely needed the win for his direction, and it was very, very smartly done. Excellent. Next up, we had
I mean, you could have
Cesaro and Sheamus defeated Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Nobody cared about this match. It was
not at all.
Awkward how quiet and dead this crowd was, and the match wasn't bad. I mean, except for the
cooldown spot match.
Yeah,
this was the cooldown spot match, and it was. You could feel that it was the cooldown spot. You could feel that it was the cooldown spot.
You could hear a mouse piss on cotton, Chris. I mean,
yeah,
it's like the thing was on mute. Like no one cared, and then you had this wacky Jason Jordan thing, and apparently he's like actually hurt, like really bad, like can't feel his hands bad, having trouble gripping things bad. Like, I mean, I know he's Kurt Angle's son, but I don't need that he also needs to have a broken freaking neck like that. Yeah. So that's taking it a little too far.
Yeah,
so
I really am not
get well soon. He's like what, 31?
He's a young kid.
He's younger than we are, and have a bad neck is no damn good. So
let's see. Yeah, he is. He's 29. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. No.
This is why the talent. This is why the talent should not be working.
You're 100% right. I will say this: Jason Jordan in a giant ass comical neck brace could be funny as hell.
Sure,
like, for his character, but just like the impetus of that just makes me kind of sad.
Yeah. Overall, you should not be having your talent be working 5 nights a week like this if it's going to result in all this stuff. I mean, we managed to avoid the whole what do you call it, the injury bug for a good portion of last year.
From 16, yeah.
Yeah, but it's come back again after.
I mean, these guys are killing themselves, and the style of wrestling needed to get over in 2018 is very high impact. Like the amount of guys who can do like very technical no bump wrestling is like 3: Saber, Yeehai, Gulak, Thatcher, and Thatcher doesn't get over with it unless he's with Walter. So 3 guys in the world get over by doing very technical shit. Everyone else has to take bumps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys get beat up. It sucks. And ladies, too. They get beat up.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, this match sucked. It was whatever. Whatever.
What are you going to do?
Then we had another match that was not very good, except it did feature my favorite.
As you always say.
What? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like fans, and it's not even the WWE. And at this point, it's that fans are conditioned to see these guys all the time. Like,
yeah.
So Like
the people who don't get seen are quickly forgotten about.
Exactly. So, what's next? Brock,
Kane, Braun.
There was
another match.
There was exactly one thing about this match that I liked, and no surprise at all, it was Braun kneeing Brock in the face real hard, then Brock standing up and yelling, "Settle the fuck down," and giving him a little short fist jab for his troubles.
Yep.
And then going right back to the match, which was the best part.
Yeah.
Like Brock's all right. Brock's like, all right, you want to shoot on me? Okay. Here's a little punch in the face to put you back in your place. Oh, great. Now I'm gonna go bump for you like
the 15-second shooting.
This match was so bad.
It was really not great at all.
Kane's got nothing left. Kane's got nothing left, man. Kane's got nothing left.
Send him back to retirement and the political campaign.
Nope.
Just get it over.
Good luck. God bless. Have fun doing whatever the hell you're doing. Get the fuck off my television, dude.
Yeah.
The next time I see Kane, it better be at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. About a minute beforehand. That's it. But the whole and the best part about the Brock Braun little shoot thingy thing that they're going on is that it was like 5 seconds, and then they went right back to the match. They were totally professional about it. It wasn't like we're like the back in the day where like Inoki beat the crap out of that fat guy I told you about a month ago.
Yes.
And killed the entire match. Because like if Brock wanted to, you could have edited that poor bastard. But he's like, all right, whatever. You screwed up. I hit him back, and now we're gonna go back to business.
Diamond Dogs, good call there. I agree with you. Diamond Dogs barely remember the triple threat and Raw tag title matches. Same here. I barely remember any details about those 2 matches.
All I remember about it is Brock shooting on the guy. It wasn't part of the script.
Yeah, the Brock Braun shoot session and Jason Jordan sitting on the ring stairs holding his head, couldn't tag in.
Yeah,
those were the only things I remembered.
Oh, but wait. Let's backtrack for a second. Jason Jordan selling a concussion is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of stupid, right? Am I the only one who thinks that's kind of dumb?
Oh no, it is absolutely really dumb.
We clearly saw Jason Jordan get hit in the head with the ring post. By the way, that spot needs to be retired because like every match had that.
Yeah.
Run your shoulder into the ring post, or run your head into the ring post, like that needs to go away for a little bit.
Yes.
That spot and the table spots need to go away. I don't need to see tables getting broken on every show because it lessens the impact.
Yes.
But we saw Seth Rollins saw Jason Jordan get hit in the head with the ring post. Run into the ring post head first. You saw it, you heard it. So it's not like he's making it up. And then he's sitting there dazed and confused, selling a concussion, and he's the bad guy. Like, yeah, he's a dick. Yeah, he's smarmy. But, like, you clearly saw the guy get his bell rung. Yes. Like, why is he the bad guy here? Because he couldn't defend your title?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I saw that. I'm watching it, and I'm like, "Woo," So
bad luck.
Bad luck. Women's Rumble, right? Is that all that's left?
That is the last thing. The Women's Rumble. I do have a few. I had a couple of complaints, but overall, I was very pleased with it.
Yeah, I think I went 3.5, 3 3/4 on this match.
I was 3.5. Let me get the bad stuff out of the way first, because I prefer to end. I prefer to end on a positive note. One, Vicky Guerrero's spot. I know that there are people who really like her and don't mind the comedy bits. I was not a fan of it. I thought that it could have been used for something far better. Another NXT debut, perhaps. Anything. I thought that was unnecessary and uncalled for, but that is what it is. Two, and this is a far more significant complaint. I was not a fan of the fact that the veterans and Hall of Famers got a bulk of the spotlight time and eliminations. Specifically, I mean, Michelle McCool had the most eliminations out of anyone in the match with 5. And most of the time that there was one person having a power moment in the middle of the ring, it was a veteran or a Hall of Famer. Or it was Nia Jax. That was those were the people who spent the most time as the focal points of the match. Other than that, it didn't really do a whole lot to like the Rumble's supposed to give everyone a chance at the spotlight, and a lot of the current on roster talent I don't think got their place in the sun. But those two things aside, I thought this was a very well done match. I really liked the surprises that showed up for it. Most of the surprises that showed up for it. Again, not a fan of Vicky Guerrero, and I probably would not have put Kelly Kelly or Tori Wilson in the match either, but that is what it is. And really happy to see the Bella Twins both show up at the end there. That was great. Trish at 30, fantastic.
Brilliant. I'll tell you why in a minute.
The only downside to Trish being at 30 was that we didn't get any Trish Lita interactions because Lita was eliminated third in the match and only spent 5 minutes in there. Although the word is, if those of you who were paying attention saw that Lita came out with a shirt on that had the Time's Up hashtag on it, and word is that Lita was wearing a sweatshirt for most of the day to hide that, and because she didn't think that it would get approved for her to wear that out to the ring, and apparently the officials were not too pleased about that overall. But that is what it is. You know, WWE going to WWE. You can't do anything about it. Ember Moon coming out with the arm wrap from the previous night, which we'll get to in a little bit. Fantastic. I loved her bits in it. I loved Kairi Sane's bits, even if both of them really didn't get nearly as much time as I would have liked. And overall, can't really complain. This was a good match. A good first Women's Royal Rumble, and I hope that I hope that they build upon it for the future ones. That's it.
A few quick points about why this match was really well booked. In no particular order. They spaced out the returns really well, so they were always fresh. You know, like one lady would get eliminated, then another legend would come back. You know.
Mm-hmm.
2, booking Trish at 30 was absolute brilliance because the entire time the crowd was expecting Ronda Rousey to be number 30, and we'll get to that. There's one person on the planet who would not have been shit on by that crowd at number 30, and it was Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. If, I don't know, Bayley was number 30, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
Right? There's one person in the world who would not have been shit on it, and that's the person they had at number 30. And she looked great, and she did the V thing with Mickie James. That made me happy. Because I'm a fucking heathen.
Like
I was in the building for that. I was freaking hammered at that. I was annihilated at that WrestleMania by the time that match came out. The little Trish Mickie James thing. Yeah. Transformed me back to 22-year-old George. Or however the hell old I was at that time.
Yeah.
Having Sasha.
90% of the building was expecting. 90% of the building and the audience watching at home was expecting Ronda Rousey. The other 10% was expecting Steph to get up from commentary and enter.
Yes,
at 30.
And having Trish as the alternative to those two was quite good.
Yes.
Still wish we'd gotten my spot of Steph taking off her pantsuit like she used to do in Naito. You know? But she was wearing like leggings and a shirt. So theoretically, she could have gotten in there, you know. But whatever. Having Sasha as the glue to hold that whole thing together.
Yes.
And turn heel 3/4 of the way through. Also
to
brilliant.
Throw Bayley out. Yeah. Yes. That was spectacular.
Having her but in the beginning where she was like the hot baby face to kind of keep it all together. Good stuff. And on the flip side, having Nia Jax be the hot heel to keep everything together on the heel side was also a nice touch. And be the focal point for everything.
Yeah.
That was also a good touch.
I like
the ending. The only thing I didn't like was like all the women rolled out of the ring and then came back in over and over again.
Yeah, there was a lot of time spent. People did spend a lot of time on the outside. Yes.
A lot of time on the taking the powder on the outside. But you know what? Whatever. I did pop hard for the fuck's her name? God, I lost. Oh, Beth Phoenix looked great. Didn't look like she hadn't missed a day. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Looked great. And
only got 2 minutes though to immediately be eliminated.
Maybe it's all she wanted. I don't know. Maybe she had no gas. I don't know. but very happy to see her.
Yes.
So, match itself, I went 3 3/4. I thought the match was good.
Yeah.
Kind of fell apart at the end a little bit, but that's okay.
I thought that actually the Final Four actually worked out really well. Both the bells
So
really...
I thought the Final Four worked out well because it was a clear babyface versus heel, and it got the crowd to get behind Asuka in the same way they got the crowd to get behind Nakamura.
Yep. You know, and the overall look of it being that, you know, Sasha aligned with the Bellas only for the Bellas to then turn on her, and then for Nikki to turn on Brie was, you know, that was smartly done. I really liked that. That was very smartly done.
Yes.
Brie looked great coming back to the ring. First time back since... Good callback to what?
Good callback to I wish you had died in the womb.
Oh my god, I told you never to say that again. Oh my god. Yeah, Brie looked great. This is her first match back after the birth of her first daughter, and overall, both her and Nikki performed admirably in the match and did a good job as veterans do. So we have the potential for WrestleMania New Orleans to end with 2 Japanese champions on each of the respective shows. Asuka taking the Raw Women's title and Nakamura taking the WWE Championship. It's exciting. It's an exciting thought, I gotta say.
Agreed.
And almost use that to fuel momentum for a tour of Japan.
Oh, fancy that.
Yeah.
Don't they go on a tour every year, though?
Yeah, they do have a short tour every year, yes. But
go to Sumo Hall. I think they usually go to Sumo Hall, right? Or maybe Budokan. They go somewhere decent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt, Asuka does need to lose, but Asuka needs to lose when she has the title. She needs to have it be a title loss so that has the absolute greatest impact of her losing. So
you want to talk about Ronda, or should I?
Oh, I'm gonna have words, but you can go first.
If I know you, I think your words are more macro, and mine are more micro. And my problems with this thing are more on a small scale, and yours are more on a big picture, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, then if yours are big picture, then you go first.
Okay. So obviously, if you've been living under a rock for the past week, you know by now that Royal Rumble closed with Ronda Rousey showing up after the Women's Rumble and pointing to the WrestleMania sign, indicating that she wanted a match at WrestleMania, and it was shortly announced thereafter that Ronda Rousey is signed full-time with WWE.
Oh, we still have no idea what full-time means, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We have no idea.
Is full-time like Brock, or was full-time like Seth Rollins?
People are assuming it means full-time like Seth Rollins, but there was a lot of word spreading.
Real surprised if she's doing like house shows.
Yeah, there was a lot of word spreading when the rumors first started flying a few weeks ago. Like when the rumors started flying in earnest a few weeks ago, there was a lot of focus on one particular rumor that said that Ronda would have a 5-match contract for a year, which was Mania New Orleans, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and then next year's WrestleMania. And that would be her one-year contract for 5 matches.
Here's the problem, though. Chris, what's the one way that you get good at professional wrestling?
Do it a lot.
Your work matches,
mm-hmm.
Right? We talk about this with NXT as opposed to the dojo all the time. We talk about Kitamura working 120 matches in 2017, as opposed to guys who are just taking bumps in a training center down in NXT.
Yes.
Right? Only way Ronda's going to get any good is if she's out there working matches.
Mm-hmm.
So this 5-match thing is not going to be could be a bit of a nightmare. But go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, so my problems with this, Yeah, are definitely on a macro level. One, and primary problem with this whole situation even existing in the first place. Ronda Rousey is a transphobic asshole. She has gone on record as stating that transgender women do not belong in combat sports because they have an unfair advantage because they're actually men. That's what she has said. And that is disgusting and awful, and I don't want anybody who states things like that to be anywhere near professional wrestling at all, period. So that's problem number one. Not going to dwell on that because then I'm just going to get angry. Problem number two is focused mostly on the way that this debut happened. And I understand, everybody expecting Ronda to come out at number 30. Yes, that would have been awful. But having her come out at all during this entire show, when the focus is supposed to be on, you literally spent an hour prior to this telling us about how huge and historic and important this moment was for the women to have this Royal Rumble and for it to be this big accomplishment. And then you take all of that momentum and then shift it to one single person as being the focal point and showing that is the only person you care about. People are supposed to be put in position in this company. You and I have talked about many times. If you're going to succeed in this business, you put your talent in position to succeed. You don't put your talent in position to be overshadowed by a person who is just showing up with no experience and is immediately going to be thrust to the forefront on the spotlight. A washout combat athlete and a terrible actress coming in and immediately being at the forefront of your entire division when you have women who have been there busting their asses for years now, decades even, and giving their all for the dream and the possibility that they might be able to alter the perception about women's wrestling and help it to be taken seriously. Instead, you immediately put Ronda Rousey at the forefront and say that she's the most important thing and she's your main attraction. All the spotlight's on her, and everybody else is just is standing in her shadow now. That's a slap in the face to the women who have been there for all this time, who are working their asses off to try and help this sport be taken seriously for them. I am really not looking forward to Ronda being around for a long term. If she takes to this like a freaking prodigy and turns out to be some sort of professional wrestling savant and is immediately elevating the entire division, then you know what? Okay, great. But the chances of that happening, you and I both know, are minuscule. Minuscule at best. She is not. She's not cut out for this. And she's in a lot of ways, her presence actively detracts from everything else that's going on around her and from the women who are in the locker room. And you know what? If there were a lot of women who were in that Royal Rumble who took to social media the next day to express their complaints about WWE making it all about Ronda. Whether that is them actually expressing that discomfort or whether that's, company approved and is a work, either way, they're right. Because what was everybody talking about this week? Ronda Rousey signs with WWE. Yeah, okay, great. Vince's big plan succeeded. But at what cost? We're already dealing with a man who views most of his female talent as expendable, except under certain conditions. And this is not going to do anything to alter that perception, especially not for the women themselves who are working their asses off to keep their jobs. What are we doing here, folks? Vince. What are you doing?
Wrestling's never been a meritocracy, though.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it should be. I'm not saying it should be. But you know, Sasha Banks goes out and has a match with Asuka on Raw, and almost kills herself on a suicide dive, and she does that on the regular because she is that committed to having women's wrestling be taken seriously.
Or she's batshit crazy. One of the two.
One of the two. Either way, though, like, is you really telling me that her putting in all that work and giving all that time and giving all that effort is really just so that the company can then bring in Ronda Rousey and say, "Here's our star"? There should certainly be some amount of reward or compensation for the fact that they're busting their asses because they care.
It's pop quiz. It's the last WrestleMania main event to feature only full-time wrestlers.
I want to say it was John Cena versus The Miz. But Cena was still full-time at that point.
Do you know what year that was?
I was 29, wasn't it? So that would be 5 years ago?
It was 27.
Oh, 27.
So it was 2011. So it was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
My point is that it's WrestleMania season, which is time for the part-timers to show up and relegate the full-timers to the kiddie table. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's quarter one in WWE. Ergo, the full-timers show up, pat the part-timers show up, pat the full-timers on the head, kick their asses to the side. And they wonder why they have trouble making stars. But
yeah,
my problem with Ronda, and you're not wrong, because it's not about us. It's about the TV deal, and it's about the business. So I get that. I get it. It's not about us. It's not about you or me or anyone listening to this podcast. It's about what NBC Universal thinks. It's about what Fox thinks. It's about what anybody negotiating for that TV deal, which is their lifeblood. Without that TV deal, they're fucked. So I get it. She comes in, she pops a couple ratings, whatever, gets some, quote, buzz, unquote. They're going to extend their TV deal with NBC Universal or go to Fox or go to Disney or whomever and make some more money. I get it. The problem I have is that, MMA charisma is not pro wrestling charisma, Chris. We saw Tito Ortiz and TNA flop. We saw Rampage Jackson in TNA flop. Those two guys have shitloads of MMA charisma. They have no pro wrestling charisma. I have no idea if Ronda Rousey has any professional wrestling charisma.
Yeah.
2, you discussed it. She's a really terrible actress. Yeah. And in a division with a lot of terrible actresses, that's saying something. Yeah. I mean, 3, this opening segment thing was a disaster. She showed up, she pointed at a sign, she was all happy, smiley, slapping hands, Ronda Rousey. I don't want happy, smiling, slapping hands, Ronda Rousey. I want the UFC Ronda Rousey who beat the shit out of people. Like, do you remember when Brock Lesnar came back to the WWE in 2012?
No.
Remember that angle?
I was not watching at that point in time.
Let me tell you what happened. It's the night after WrestleMania. John Cena loses to The Rock, right? He's cutting a promo at the end of the Raw. I want to fight The Rock. I want a rematch. Brock Lesnar's music hits. Best theme song in wrestling, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. He walks out. John Cena offers him his hand. He grabs John Cena's hand. He hits an F5. He then kicks John Cena's hat out of the ring because it flew off his head when he hit the F5. He then stands over John Cena and yells like he's Braun Strowman. The show ends. That's how you reintroduce a badass.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's how they reintroduce Brock? He walks down to the ring, he's skipping and he's hopping and he's jumping and he's laughing and he awkwardly tries to shake John Cena's hand and then he points to the sign 350 times and then he walks back up the entrance ramp. My God, how much of a disaster would that have been?
This is
Like, here's how I booked this. You ready? This took me 30 seconds to come up with on the train this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You do the whole bullshit with Asuka and the two women in the ring, Charlotte and Alexa, right? That's fine. Start scene like they're doing acting. Scene. Asuka standing in the ring, Charlotte, Alexa. Ronda Rousey comes out to her music. Doesn't point at the stupid ass sign. She does the thing where she tries to congratulate Asuka's hand, and Asuka slaps her hand away. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ronda immediately forearms Asuka a couple times. Okay? Mm-hmm. Alexa and Charlotte go after her. Ronda goes batshit crazy, throws Alexa out of the ring, throws an armbar on Charlotte. Stephanie yells for security. Security drags her out of the ring. Right? As security's dragging out of the ring, Ronda breaks free from security and nails Stephanie. Security pulls her off of Stephanie. Triple H comes down, and Ronda gets in his face too, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
That's how you end the show. She looks different. She's not a cookie cutter. And yes, she hit Asuka, but she went after the heels too, because she's batshit crazy, loose cannon Ronda Rousey. A role that she can pull off. She can't pull off this smiley, happy, jokey, I'm taking selfies with Triple H Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, no.
No. You know? There you have it. Congratulations, I just built your WrestleMania feud. She either goes after Charlotte, she goes after Asuka, she goes after Alexa, she goes after Steph, because she attacked all four of them.
Mm-hmm.
Pick whichever one you want. Whichever one you want of those four. I just gave you 4 avenues in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Chris, this shit ain't hard.
Yeah.
So, like,
and having her come out, like, let's add a couple of, like, these next few things are kind of minor overall, but you know they're kind of just, you know, little index marks in the file of proof that WWE cares about big name stars more than their actual full-time talent. 1, they paid the money for the license to use Bad Reputation by Joan Jett as her entrance music.
That's good. I'm okay with that.
They don't do that for their. They don't do that for their talent now.
Yeah, but that's okay though.
If you're not going to spend the money on that for your full-time talent, like
what full-time talent has like actual songs though that they haven't written? Am I missing something?
That's the thing. They don't do that for their full-time talent. They
give their talent they bring from. They give them songs when they enter the company, and that's okay. Yeah. Like. Well, I don't expect them to have Adrian Downs' song. Like, I feel like I'm missing something here.
It just is one of those things where it's like, well, you're going to spend the money to give, you know, Ronda Rousey this big you know, entrance music that is licensed and all that shit, but you're not going to, you know, you don't spend the money for the rest of your talent to get that too.
But they write songs for the rest of their talent though. So
which are really shitty.
I think that's kind of nitpicky.
Which are really shitty songs. Let's be honest. CFOs has been on a really bad slump.
You're cutting out, man. I can barely hear you. Start over. Start what you were saying.
CFOs has been on a pretty bad slump lately in terms of delivering good songs. Let's be honest about that, though.
But like her coming out to Bad Reputation's fine. I'm like, okay.
All right.
Go on.
Second, putting her out there in Rowdy Piper's jacket. Like, I get that she's a big mark for Piper, and she got quote unquote authorization to use Rowdy as her nickname from him directly. But really, come on, that's just that she looked ridiculous wearing his jacket. Like, I was not a fan of that. And 3, before the show was even over, WWEshop.com was updated immediately with her shirts.
Yeah, I'm okay with that though.
It's just like I said, this is all things for me go in the file of WWE cares more about big name part-timers than they do about their full-time talent. And that's not a way to operate a company. It's not. I know that it's not as big of a deal for you.
But like if Ronda comes out right, at 10 o'clock my time. Everyone's going to jump on their website. Oh, my God, Ronda Rousey's on WWE. Let's jump on their website. And they have a link right away to buy a T-shirt of hers. I'm okay with that. That's good business. Like that makes sense to me. That just makes sense to me that they're striking while the iron's hot. You figure it's Sunday night. All those people are going to jump on the website. Every random casual fan. And they have a link. Oh, I'm going to buy this cool shirt. It reminds me of Roddy Piper. Okay, I'm going to buy this shirt now. Like it's available to sell. They
don't do that when their regular talent like makes a big.
Yeah, but the regular talent isn't on SportsCenter though. Like there are problems with this. There are major systemic problems with this feud or with this presentation. But the fact that they're capitalizing on any quote buzz to try to move some T-shirts is not one of them.
All right, that's fair. I mean, like I said, it just for me there were a lot of things about this that just like scream in the face of everybody watching. We care more about Ronda Rousey than we do about the people who are out here busting their asses for us 300 nights a year.
But there's very few people that this company can sign realistically that would get them in the A block on SportsCenter that night. Like, so I get it, but this shit's not a meritocracy. It's not. It never has been. Like it or hate it, you know.
It goes back to the whole thing of, you know, and I'm gonna come back to this later on in the show too, of, you know, in a perfect world we wouldn't need to do this kind of thing. No. And that's really the crux of the whole thing, is that in a perfect world WWE wouldn't need to go out and sign Ronda Rousey because they wouldn't need any
part-timers. Chris, you're not wrong.
They would have been working to make their full-timers genuine stars. That's really what it comes down to.
You're In a perfect world, they wouldn't need to bring in part-timer extraordinaire to pop a fucking buy rate.
Yes.
Because they would have made a star.
Yeah.
But NXT knows how to make stars. Main roster, not so much.
Yeah.
So that is a problem above and beyond anything that's going on with Ronda Rousey in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she is a symptom of the disease.
Yes.
She's a symptom of the disease. Now, because I'm a hypocrite, I am intrigued to see what she will do at WrestleMania. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We already have some speculation about what she's going to do, and some things that will debunk.
Would be shocked if it's anything other than Steph, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
just how this company operates.
There's already been some speculation about what she'll do, and some speculation also about, you know, some things that will debunk part of that speculation. One of the big rumors was that it would be Steph and Triple H versus Ronda and The Rock, but the people who are producing The Rock's next movie have already basically took this. You know, they have this giant fucking insurance. You know, they don't want to have to take a giant insurance policy out on him in the event that, you know, he gets injured in the match. So it's likely that
it won't be The Rock. He may be there. He may be in the corner, but he ain't taking a bump, and he's not throwing hands. Or no.
Yeah, not a chance.
I would be astonished. I would be very surprised if it was anything other than Ronda and Male versus Triple H and Steph. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if it was anything other than that.
I'm expecting that we might end up with Ronda versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. That's what I'm expecting.
I don't think Ronda's going to be on SmackDown. The big part-timers are never on. Even Taker, Mr. SmackDown, moved to Raw when he feuded with Roman.
Yeah.
Like, the big part-timers are never on SmackDown. Maybe they move Charlotte. You know, like, they got no problem moving her for moving Charlotte for 6 weeks. You know?
Which would make literally no sense when she's the title holder on one show and showing up on the other show.
You see how this company books?
Stupid as hell.
I'm with you. My chips are on mixed tag. Plus, mixed tag lets her come in and, like, let's say it's Ronda and Angle, right? I'm picking a name. I don't have any inside information. I'm just picking a name. Ronda and Angle versus Triple H and Steph, which sounds like a disaster, by the way. A fucking disaster in terms of work rate. But it's not about the work rate. It's about the spectacle, the moment. They love their moments, right?
Ronda Braun?
Sure. Hey, yeah. Great stuff. Braun's already got practice working with a small blonde lady, so he's all in.
Thanks, Matt, for throwing that one out there. I like that.
Yeah, that's way better than Braun Miz for the IC title. Yeah, I'm good.
God,
no thanks. Sorry, Don Cell. Friend of the show, Don Cell. I'm good. Yeah, Ronda. Then yeah. Like, I have no doubt that Ronda and Braun or Angle versus Trips and Steph could be a good 9-minute mixed tag match with a shitload of heat. Mm-hmm. No doubt. That I will watch once and never want to see again because it'll be utterly forgettable bell to bell.
For sure.
It will be. But it's not about the work rate. SportsCenter is not important on the work rate. You know what I'm saying? That's what they care about. Should they? Different story. But that's what they care about. So,
yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we're dissecting the hell out of her pointing at a sign, which is kind of sad, to be honest. You know?
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's move on to
we got what? We got like 8 weeks, 9 weeks till WrestleMania, right? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. That sounds about right.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes. All right, let's start with Takeover. Yeah. This was probably this.
It was funny. I was watching the show.
This was one of my 3 favorite takeovers of all time. I love this show. With one big exception.
Because I was watching this show.
And what?
Hello?
You were watching the show.
Are you there? I was. Yeah, you keep cutting out again.
Yeah, you are too. I don't know why.
I was watching the show, and I was about halfway through the show. Oh, there you are. Yeah. I was watching the show. Yeah. I was about halfway through this show, and I was like, this show is good, but it ain't great. It's good, but it's not Takeover good. I thought the best match in the Takeover happened.
I thought
it got
every match on the show was fantastic. Yeah, I had one major complaint about this show, and other than that, I loved everything that was going on. So let's run down it.
Sure.
Tag title match started things off. Undisputed Era versus Authors of Pain. The thing that I loved the most about this match is that they managed to find a way to make the giant monsters into the baby faces during the course of this match.
They pulled it off. It's tough.
Exceptional storytelling. Exceptional.
Very tough. It's very tough to do David versus Goliath where David is the heel, as I've mentioned before. But they managed to pull it off.
Yeah. It was spectacular. The double teamwork that Fish and O'Reilly did for the entirety of the match worked really well. Razor coming in as the hot tag and then needing to bring Aiken back in just because he got hurt himself or injured, quote unquote. Great storytelling. I like I said, I loved everything about this, and I hope that this leads to some more depth of character for the Authors of Pain because we've already seen that they are a great tag team. They do great work. And giving them a little bit more depth of character other than just giant monsters would do wonders for them. I am all in for Authors of Pain getting some more depth and development. So I really enjoyed this match. I went 3 3/4 on it.
Where's my spreadsheet? Yeah, me too. 375. Yeah.
Really good match.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I like the finish a lot with the leg work. You're not wrong. Yes. I like the whole thing. Fish and O'Reilly are really good together. They have great chemistry and great timing because they've been doing this together for a long time.
Yes.
I like that each of their styles is different too. They're not cookie cutters like TM61 are.
Yeah.
That their style. The one of them is more of a brawler and the other one's much more of a technical guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. I like when two partners complement each other rather than are copies of each other.
Yeah, for sure. So, Velveteen Dream versus Cash Sono. This worked for me because they were trying to the end of the Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black feud they really didn't have an opportunity to build on that because Dream had an injury afterwards that he had to spend some time recovering from. But this immediately put him back in the driver's seat of his character being, the smarmy heel who's all about himself and who looks down on everybody else around him, thinks nothing of his opponents, and is just incapable of being put off by anything. And Ono gave him a hell of a fight. Cassius Ono, no surprise here. Cassius Ono was really good at this professional wrestling thing. But he gave Dream a lot to work with, and they pulled off a really good match that in the end, Dream had his confidence shaken a little bit, but in the end, his arrogance paid off. And I really like the storytelling bit of that. I think that they're building towards something really good for him coming up next. I don't know what yet, but I think that they're going to put him in to the kind of a role that was previously held by guys like Tyler Breeze as the mid-card gatekeeper heel of NXT. And if that's what they're doing with him, then he's going to make a lot of incoming baby faces look great because he does great work.
I didn't love this match. I don't even really like this match, to be honest. I thought the first 45 seconds were awesome with the countdown and then the knockout and him jumping up and down like he just won a heavyweight title. That was all good stuff. And then to me, this match kind of fell off a cliff. I thought Dream is very, very talented. He is got his gimmick down pat. He oozes charisma. The work rate isn't there yet. And I don't blame Chris Hero. Chris Hero's been doing this a long freaking time. And if you have a bad match, I shouldn't say bad. If you have a mediocre match with Chris Hero, it's probably not Chris Hero's fault. Dream needs to slow down. He worked way too quickly. But it's all right. The guy's allowed to have a bad match. It happens. I don't think any less of him. He's 22.
All right.
Pick yourself up, move on, and go to the next thing. It happens. You have a bad day at the office. I have a bad day at the office. He had a bad day at the office. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for this guy.
Yes.
Like he had a match that didn't work, and it happens. I think I went 3 1/4. I didn't. This match I didn't love, or I thought it was just okay.
Oh, I went 3.5.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay.
3 1/4.
Dream's the dude. No, don't get me wrong.
Seems a little bit high for something you just thought was okay.
Yeah, 3 1/4. Well, I love the first minute. The first minute I loved. With the whole crowd counting down to the 30 seconds and him throwing that punch and Hero dying and then him jumping up and down. That shit was awesome.
Yeah.
Like everything after that was just like, yeesh,
All right.
Like that explains the ranking.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Dream's the dude though. So I mean, the sky's the limit, and whatever. He'll learn from this. He'll get better. It happens. Guys have bad matches. It happens. You know what I mean? Not everything goes perfectly.
Fair enough.
I'm not expecting him to fail or anything. It's just just a bad match.
All right.
What was that for this? The women?
Yes, and it was Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler for
the women's title. You have not seen Tanahashi Suzuki yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. This was Tanahashi Suzuki, but nowhere near as good. It even had the same spot of the plucky babyface hits their top rope move, but their limb is so beat up that they can't make the cover for the win. Tanahashi hits the high fly flow, but he bangs his knee on the canvas and he can't pin Suzuki. Ember Moon hits
not a lot of those spots.
Ember Moon hits the Eclipse, but her arm is so beat up she can't pin Shayna Baszler. I was just saying, watching this match like 6 hours after watching Tanahashi Suzuki have the exact same match, only way better, is just kind of jarring for me.
Oh, that's fair.
Also, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this a little more when we get Tanahashi Suzuki. When you're doing the MMA badass who does nothing but like MMA submissions, it doesn't really work when that person loses, to me, because it just kills any disbelief I have. Like, oh, she's been in an armbar for a minute and a half. Okay, like it would just rip her arm out of her socket. Or remember we talked about this with Okada Suzuki? He's been in the heel hold for like an hour and a half, and then he comes back. I
will say that they did go a little bit too long. In there,
so it's it's kind of hard for me to grade this when I saw the exact same match, only better, like 3 hours beforehand. You know,
Fair
I was
enough.
like, watch it. So, what did I give this? 3.5, maybe. Let me see. What? Not even that high. Let me see. What is my spreadsheet? Yeah, I went 3.5 because I thought Ember selling was pretty good. You know,
I went
3.5.
I went 3.5 on this.
Yeah, I went 3.5 because I thought. I mean, at the end of the day, like it may have been the generic brand version of Tanahashi Suzuki, but Tanahashi Suzuki was so freaking great that even the generic brand version of it is still pretty good.
Fair enough.
So, Ember selling was pretty great. Literally clawing at Shayna's tricep to get out of the armbar was a nice touch.
Yeah, yeah. I like that a lot, and they needed to have something that was going to be a high impact match to
I like that it was short.
To sell Ember as the babyface champion.
I like that it was short.
That worked. That worked in that regard.
I like that they didn't try to go 18 minutes and went like what 12 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, that was good. Nothing wrong with that. I got no problem with short. Go in, get the hell out, do your shit. I don't need every match to be 45 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. So I like that it was short. Ember still does nothing for me character-wise, but that ship has sailed. So I can just appreciate her for being a good in-ring worker.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, the red contact lenses and whatever, the little dots above her eyebrow, like I don't understand her gimmick. The Shinam that needs to never be said.
That nickname is really rough. I'm not a fan of that.
Mauro Ranallo is becoming I don't even say becoming, is a disaster for me, by the way. A disaster. I cannot. The main event was so good I tuned him out, except for when he's talking about fountain pens. But he's doing no one any favors. Like he is the announcing version of the indie guy who always has to get his shit in no matter what. He's the announcing Leo Rush, Chris.
Okay.
That's not a good thing.
All right.
So, yeah, this match was all right. I enjoyed it. Liked the beatdown at the end. Loved Ember selling the arm the next day. More of that. Good stuff. That was, yeah. So.
Next we had Aleister Black defeated Adam Cole in an Extreme Rules match. I really enjoyed this match. I know you said you did not, and that you thought it dragged on way too long and it was a mess. I really enjoyed this match because...
What did I give this? This did not make my spreadsheet. This did nothing for me.
I went 4 on this.
Sorry. Every other match made my spreadsheet.
I went 4 on this because I thought that this...
maybe 3?
This had what we needed to have for Aleister Black because, we just came out of him being in a stellar feud with Velveteen Dream that saw his undefeated streak continue. But they needed to start showing some cracks in the armor for him. Like, the guy is, he's over as hell because of the fact that he has this, this mysterious aura to his character. And, he does awesome high-impact moves that the crowd can really get into because it looks like he's legitimately beating the shit out of his opponents. And that kind of stuff works, and it's great. But they need to start showing some cracks in the armor so that they can start to build towards whoever his first big loss is going to be to, and I have a feeling it's going to come soon in a match for the NXT Championship. They need to start. They need to build towards that being a moment of like blowing the doors open for him. And like it starts with the little things here. Like he starts out the match not wanting to use any weapons. Like he pulls out a chair and then he just sits in it and invites Adam Cole to come back into the ring. Like, he pulls out a kendo stick and he throws the kendo stick on the ground and tells Adam Cole to hit him with his kendo stick instead, only to dodge and then continue his striking game. The supreme confidence that we see at the start of the match for Aleister Black is great because that's what we've seen of him so far. But then once he starts to eat the beat down, once he goes for the moonsault and gets hit with the kendo stick as he's coming down to the floor,
great timing by both guys.
Spectacular spot.
Yep.
And really that all of that there, like the slow progression there from Aleister being, his supremely confident, enigmatic self to finally like giving in to the rage and frustration of the striking not working, is everything that he's done previously not working for him. Giving into that and finally just saying, all right, fuck it, and beating Adam Cole down, setting up the two tables and then to go through them himself, and then cracking Adam Cole's back over the two chairs after Cole was going to do the same thing to him.
The "You Deserve It" chant was the best.
Yeah,
because he's the dumbass who set it up. That was so funny. Yeah, also, Adam Cole, what are you doing? Like, what are you? Don't take that spot. That spot's so stupid. Don't do that.
That was a dumb spot to take.
I mean, it didn't detract from my enjoyment of the match. I'm just saying, Adam Cole, man, don't be stupid.
Yeah, it was a dumb spot to take, but you know what? It worked.
It did work. Yeah. And it didn't detract from my enjoyment. I'm just saying, like, that. Don't be stupid, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. But overall, like, for Cole, this. This continued the path that we've seen for him, which is that, he is also supremely confident in himself, but, he is, like most heels are, willing to take the shortcuts and, even wants to take the shortcuts, like when Black throws the kendo stick down and he's like, you're so stupid, I'm going to end you. And then eats another beat down for his trouble. Then bringing in Fish and O'Reilly only for Sanity to come in and take them out. I mean, that whole thing worked. I would have liked after the match to see like a little bit of a respect spot between Sanity and Aleister Black. That would have been really cool, but all the same, I really just enjoyed the whole match, honestly. And like the ending sequence, I saw it coming, but that didn't diminish from my enjoyment of it at all. Where Cole charges in with the friggin' chair and then just, eats a black mass. That didn't detract from my enjoyment of it at all when it happened, even though I saw it coming from a mile away. It was very, very well done. I really enjoyed it. 4 stars for me. I know it wasn't for you, but
it wasn't for me, but that's okay. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. At no point did I think Adam Cole was winning this match, which probably detracted from it. And I watched it live. I wasn't spoiled. At no point did I think Adam Cole was winning this match, so probably detracted, I couldn't suspend my disbelief any, but whatever. I just thought it was a little messy, a little overbooked. A lot overbooked, actually, but, whatever.
I went into it expecting Aleister to win, but I would not have been surprised if Adam Cole had won. If they had used Adam Cole
won, but so it goes.
Like I wouldn't have been surprised if they used Undisputed Era as a way to facilitate Aleister taking his first loss. We've seen them do it before for people with undefeated streaks.
I think Aleister's getting that loss in New Orleans to Almas.
Wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see. And we are spoiler free. Taping is going on right now, but we were spoiler free, Chris and I.
I haven't even looked at the notes of what's going on. I'm gonna have to look at it. I have to look after the show.
Just saying, yeah. We are spoiler free tonight. Yeah, okay. Main event.
All right, and then did you have anything else to add on that one?
On the Cole Black or on the main event?
On Cole Black.
No, I think you nailed it. It wasn't for me, and I don't need to, go into great detail. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Right.
Sometimes it falls flat. I still get invested. Adam Cole does nothing for me, and I still don't like Aleister Black's gimmick. In the ring, he's fine. Right. He's basically Aleister Black is basically the male Ember Moon for me. In the ring, great. Everything else, I could just do without. Only difference is that Ember Moon is like an actual negative outside of the ring, whereas Aleister Black is just neutral. Like, I can take or leave his gimmick.
Fair enough.
Whereas Ember Moon's gimmick is like an actual detraction for me. So,
all right,
main event.
Yeah,
main event. This was the best match I've ever seen NXT put out. This was the best WWE match I've seen in years. This was an easy 5-star match for me, and not only was it a 5-star match for me, it joins the rarefied air of matches that you show a non-wrestling fan to explain to them why you love watching professional wrestling. This match was that good. It was better than AJ Cena. It was better than Cena Punk. It was better than Triple H, Benoit, Michaels. It was better than Michaels, Jericho. It was better than AJ Brock. It was better than the only WWF/E matches I can say that are definitively better than this match were the Austin Hart I Quit match or submission match at WrestleMania 13 and the very first Hell in a Cell in October of '97. Everything else, I can make a case that this match was better. Everything else. This match was flawless, Chris. It was flawless. I could not think of a single thing I would change. Everything about this match worked. Candice jumping the rail was great. Zelina hitting the Hurricane Rana was great. Her healing from the outside early on. And before I cede the microphone to you, Johnny Gargano is getting all the plaudits in the world, and he deserves them. But a motivated Andrade Almas is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he showed that tonight. When he gives a fuck. Remember, a year ago, he was dead in the water with the suspenders, and the Chippendale outfit. And now he's grown into this, and he is one of the 5 best wrestlers in the company when he gives a shit. Chris, this match ruled. I loved this match. 5 stars with a bullet.
All right.
So, you got anything? I mean, I keep going. I can go on, I can go more, but I don't want to monopolize all the time.
No. That's good. That covers it. That's all I got. I mean, I had my gripe, but I'm not gonna. No, I don't need to get into it. But regardless,
give me a gripe.
No, I've already been over with you, and it's like it's a moot point. So it's it's good.
I love this match.
It was an excellent match.
It was really great.
And the
it was Gargano's the dude. He's the guy.
The surprise after the match was excellent. I was very happy about that. Of Ciampa showing up, that was excellent. Very well done. And overall,
and just one smack in the back, and that's it.
Yep.
You know why I loved it? Because it was like Tommaso was like, you couldn't even win the belt. You couldn't even do that. So we'll see. I am invested in Johnny Wrestling. I have not been this invested in a character since the first Summer of Punk in Ring of Honor in 2005. So, I'm in. You bought me. You sold me, Johnny Gargano. You're a freaking maestro. So,
yeah,
I'm in.
All right, excellent.
So, New Orleans. Give me a quick fantasy book for New Orleans. New Japan.
It's hard to do because Ciampa showed up for the crutch shot, but I have no idea if he's
coming back. That was a big ass knee brace. I don't know
if he's going to be back in time.
He blew his knee out when? May, right? May?
Yeah. And recovery from an ACL. Recovery from ACL surgery, ACL reconstructive surgery. It varies from 6 months to a year.
Yeah, and he blew his. And May is when he got hurt, right?
Yeah.
So New Orleans is going to be 10 months because he blew his knee out in late May. It wasn't early May, so he blew his knee out in late May. By the time the swelling went down and he got the surgery, it could have been June,
Mm-hmm.
So 10 months. He may not be ready.
Fair enough.
Too bad. I hope he is. Yeah, but him being a dick just for the hell of it was good stuff.
Holy shit. Okay.
What's up?
I can't say because we're spoiler free, but
oh, okay. Well we're spoiler free. Link me, and I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
So, New Japan. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Let's move on to New Japan. I don't want a fantasy book given what I just read. So I'm going to leave that be.
No. There were 3 matches this weekend that I care about. We don't need to break down the random ass Suzuki Gun undercards. Is that fair?
Well, you can talk about the 3 matches. I'll run through any other significant results after that.
First of all, good business decision for them to run 2 shows in Sapporo because instead of drawing one show of 5,500 people, they drew 2 shows of 5,000 people each.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I miss the stacked New Japan cards. You know, like where like 3 years ago they had like once a month they had like an awesome card.
Yeah.
And now I miss those. You know, but like I get it. It's a good business decision. It looks like we're only going to get 4 awesome cards a year in New Japan going forward. The Dome, Sakura Genesis, King of Pro Wrestling, and Dominion. You know?
Yeah, Power Struggle had a pretty good card. But, you know,
but like, I'm talking like the top to bottom.
It definitely wasn't a legendary card, that's for sure. Yeah, so yeah.
Like the top to bottom, we're going to have like maybe 4. And the G1 Finals, so maybe 5, because the G1 Finals is always a big show. You know, you always have your tag team defending, and you have the G1 Final itself is always a highly touted card.
Yeah.
First night, I only saw Suzuki Tanahashi. Minoru Suzuki's the guy, Chris. I mean, like, here's why I loved this match. So he's working over the knee. It's a Suzuki match, so he's doing all his cool submission stuff, right? You know, he's working over the knee because Tanahashi's got the bad knee. And he's working over the leg with the heel hook, and he's working over with the figure 4, and he's working over with the knee bar. So, you know how in every Suzuki match, all he wants to do is hit that pile driver?
Yeah.
So, he finally, after like 30 minutes, hits the pile driver on Tanahashi. But instead of going for the cover, he hits him, he locks in another knee bar just because he's a dick. Just because he wants to inflict more pain, and just because he wants to humiliate Tanahashi, and just because he doesn't care at all about sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? Just because he can be a dick, he hits him in the knee bar. So Tanahashi's in the knee bar, and he's screaming in agony, and Red Shoes asks him, do you give up? I'm going to stop the match if you don't answer. And Tanahashi just doesn't answer. He's not responsive, so they call the match.
Jesus.
Give Suzuki the belt. Yeah. Then Suzuki cuts a promo. And, you know, they have the cool little translator gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, on the world. This promo's great. Talking about how only wrestlers can appreciate what he's done because only wrestlers have been in the ring to snap bones and break ligaments. And he's calling the fans idiots for cheering for him. And this angle ruled. Tanahashi got stretchered out. And Chris, he's off the shows for the rest of the month of February. No idea if he is out for the New Japan Cup. He doesn't have a title, so theoretically he would be in the New Japan Cup. If it's me, I don't bring him back until the G1. Right?
Yeah, he needs to have the fucking surgery.
The guy's beat
goddamn
up.
surgery.
Have the surgery. But here's the thing, though. When Suzuki beat Tanahashi, it was the end of an era. The Tanahashi era of New Japan is over. Definitively over. Right?
I don't know. I mean, they tried to do that after Wrestle Kingdom 2 years ago, and
but he's taking a lot of time off though.
So I hope so. I hope that because like I talked about this before about how Geto and Kadani are still booking Tanahashi in all these important spots because they're just so friggin' afraid of what will happen without Tanahashi on the card, and and how it somewhat detracts from Okada in that regard. But if they are in fact actually going to have if they are in fact actually going to have Tanahashi take the significant amount of time off and actively make Okada the guy, and say he's the ace, and make it be he is the ace. Like your jaw's gonna hit the floor when I say this, but like as much as I love Tanahashi coming out to Love and Energy, if he comes back, he better be coming out to High Energy and not to Love and Energy, because I don't want them saying go ace if he's not the fucking ace.
Yeah, love me some High Energy. Yeah. But here's the thing though. It's for 5 years Tanahashi's been New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's been the personification since 2010. For 8 years, he's been the personification of New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know? And now he's not. So that's what I mean by when I say the end of an era. Yeah. This is the end of an era. And Minoru Suzuki, good stuff, man. The dude, as my avatar can testify to, Minoru and the Black Lotus Triad, just hanging out in his cool-ass hat and his giant belt buckle.
With wine, all drinking wine together.
But like, here's the thing with Minoru, though, before we move on to the next night. He's had a great month because it has him in this interference bullshit. Remember we talked about the interference crap?
Yeah.
There hasn't been a single bit of interference in either of his dome matches, in the dome match or this match. There's not been a single interference. They had that little bullshit with the dome, but then the line stopped them. But I mean, I'm talking actual, like, a chair shot interference, you know?
Yeah. The for real interference, yeah.
Yeah. And he's having a great run because these matches are booked perfectly for him. They're slow and deliberate, but he can still hit a couple impact moves with the drop kick, and he does, and he's all charisma and gimmick and bitter, angry old man Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
So.
The only as far as night one goes, the only other matches of significance, which I'll talk about, Bullet Club team of Bad Luck Fale, Tamatanga, and Tangaroa defeated the Taguchi Japan team of Henare, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Togi Makabe to retain the Never Openweight 6-man tag titles. And in the semi-main event, the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson defeated the Chaos team of Jay White, Show, and Yo.
I didn't watch him. I'm told Elgin Kitamura was pretty solid, but yeah, whatever.
I'm not watching any Michael Hogan match ever again, so whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So night two.
We're
gonna skip the undercard shit because it's shit. Like I missed a huge chunk of it. Like
there really wasn't a whole lot in the undercard that was.
Let's talk about the final two matches. Let me scroll down. Where's my little spreadsheet? Okay.
Well, we did have before those final two matches. There was an LIJ versus Chaos 10-man tag, which was said to be actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah, so, I'm sure it was just as good as the other 400 LIJ Chaos 10-man tags we've seen, right?
I mean, if it's anything like the one that they had at New Year's Dash, which was superb, I'm definitely going to make time to watch that one.
Yes,
because the New Year's Dash one was excellent.
Yeah, these 10 guys work well together. Let's talk about the Young Bucks versus Show and Yo semi-main event for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
Yeah,
match is fine. Match is actually pretty good. Then the Bucks do the spot where they're going to powerbomb Rocky Romero on the apron, like they did at the Dome. Show and Yo rescue Rocky this time, though. And they're all standing around when Matt Jackson runs down the ramp and does like a somersault front flip, hits everybody, lands on his feet, pops back up, grabs his back. I'm like, okay. Match deliberately falls apart, Chris, because Matt Jackson's hurt. Or selling that he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The way Matt Jackson sold this back, I've never seen anybody do. You know, like when you hurt your back, you walk like upright, stiff?
Yeah.
Did that. He couldn't get in and out of the ring because his back was seizing up. You know the spot the Bucks do where they do the powerbomb in the corner? Where Matt does the powerbomb in the corner and Nick kicks the guy in the back of the head?
Yeah.
So they're trying to get through all their shit. Matt can't lift the guy up. So Nick runs and Matt can't lift Show up. So Nick runs in the ring, helps Matt lift him up, and then Matt runs and does the spot when Nick runs back into the corner. You know the spot they do where they hold the guy up on the apron and then Nick does the swanton off the ring post?
Yes.
They try to do that spot. Matt barely holds him up off the ground and yells, "Hurry up, Nick, my back, my back." And then Nick does it off the second rope because he's in such a hurry. Because he knows Matt can't hold him up.
You think
More great stuff.
You think it was a legitimate injury?
No, I think he was selling. Okay. I don't think it was legitimate. He was the best part of the match, though. Matt goes for the sharpshooter on Yo. But his back is in such bad condition, he has to let go before Yo can tap.
Yeah.
He falls to the ground, and Yo cradles him up, and Matt can't kick out, and that's the end. 4.5-star match. Loved this match. Highly recommended.
Nice.
Matt Jackson turning into an awesome seller is not a development I thought would have happened anytime in the near future.
Yeah. Nice.
But like the Bucks in Japan are so much different and so much better than the fucking masturbatory bullshit they do in Reseda and Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we've talked about this. I get it. Sell the merch. I get it. Hey man, if people want to see you throw 400 super kicks and you can sell a bunch of t-shirts, God bless.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is like, you know, we used the analogy before, you know, a band plays the hits.
Yeah.
Like this is a band playing their deep cuts in a club in front of 100 people.
Yep.
On acoustic guitars. Whereas the Bucks in PWG and ROH are them playing stadium shows and playing, you know, Enter Sandman for the 400th time because that's what the audience wants to hear. Yeah. Check this match out, Chris. Real great.
For sure.
Probably my favorite Young Bucks match I've seen in years. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. The Bucks, the crowd turned them babyface because Matt Jackson was so dead, and Nick is going 2-on-1 with Sho and Yo, and the crowd's chanting "Young Bucks, Young Bucks," and then when Sho and Yo win, the crowd is silent. Like,
Jesus,
that's how good. Like this match was so great. My second favorite match of the weekend behind Gargano Almas. That's how good this match was. Better than Suzuki Tanahashi, better than Okada, better than Omega Jay White, better than the men's Rumble. Like was, you know, this match.
Yeah.
Like I said, Matt Jackson turning into a good seller was not something I would have ever seen coming. But
nice.
There it is. Main event, Omega Jay White. Match was good, not great. 3 3/4, maybe 4, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Omega playing with his food because he doesn't give Jay White the time of day to just end him. So he just decides to hit about 13 Saito suplexes and about 400 V-triggers just because he can.
Mm-hmm.
Jay White the kernel is there. The kernel of him being good is there. You can see it. I thought his selling was excellent. I thought his character work is getting better. The whole like weird knife pervert thing is, you know, whatever.
Switchblade, yeah.
Yeah, but like the second half of this match was better than the first half, I thought. And I can definitely see, kind of like Patrick Clark. Like, you know how with Patrick Clark you see that the kernel is there?
Mm-hmm.
Like the same scenario here. He won the belt, clean, and then the Bullet Club broke up. So, or maybe broke up, or kicked Coney out, or whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Sure.
So, I'm going to set the stage of what happened, sure. With a little bit of postscript, and then I know you have a bit to say. I'm going to cede it over to you.
I do. So, talk about Golden Lovers.
Yeah. So after the match, I made sure to go and watch this because this was important. So after the match, Jay White's holding up the belt, and Adam Page does the traditional New Japan thing where he comes in and grabs the belt to declare himself as the next challenger. It's a basic thing that happens in New Japan. That's tradition, I guess you could say. And then Kenny Omega grabs the belt out of Adam Page's hands, out of his stablemate's hands, and tries to say, no, this is my belt. I'm fighting for it again, and whenever the next time is that I can challenge for it. And Page doesn't take kindly to this, and he starts jawing back and forth with Kenny. Cody Rhodes comes down to the ring, and he's jawing back and forth with Kenny Omega as well, defending Adam Page. Jay White kind of grabs the belt and just slinks off. Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks come down to try and keep the peace between all parties. And things are starting to break down. And at one point, Kenny Omega just shoves Matt Jackson to the ground because Matt grabs him from behind, and Kenny doesn't realize that it's Matt, and he just shoves Matt to the ground. And of course, the Bucks take offense to this. Kenny's trying to apologize, and and there's like, what, you guys, and the Bucks say, what, you guys work this out for yourselves. We're gonna walk away from this, and they leave. And Marty grabs Adam because clearly the fight, the disagreement is very clearly at that point in time between Kenny and Cody. And so Marty grabs Adam and says, you know what, let's leave you two to talk about it yourselves. You know, you two work it out. And so, you know, they talk for a minute and they shake hands and, you know, make their peace like all's well. Cody holds the ropes open for Kenny to leave the ring. And then as Kenny's trying to make his way out, Cody grabs him, pulls him back in, and hits a crossroads on him. And that brings Marty and Paige screaming back down to the ring. Marty's saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, stop this. You know, we can work it out. We can talk about this." Cody's lost it. He's gone mad. You know, screaming about how Kenny's bad for the Bullet Club. His leadership is bad, and he motions for Adam Page to hold him up so that Cody can inflict a beatdown. And then Kota Ibushi comes down and makes the save in a mirror of what happened at New Year's Dash when Kenny came out to save Kota from a beatdown by Cody Rhodes at that point in time. Bullet Club breaks and hits the bricks, which leaves Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega in the ring. Omega's laid out. He makes his way to the ropes, trying to get to his feet. You know, Ibushi's trying to make a gesture to help him up, but you know, Kenny's ignoring it. Kenny finally gets up to his feet and is leaning against the ropes for support. Ibushi puts his hand out to him to make like he's going to shake his hand, and Kenny's just won't do it. He's shaking his head. He won't do it, and he goes to leave, and Ibushi just pulls him in and hugs him, and the confetti friggin' goes off, and everybody's going crazy. You know,
I've lost their minds for all this.
That Golden Lovers are back together. Postscript of this is that on the episode of Being the Elite that was released earlier this week, following this whole thing. Because, obviously, if you watch Being the Elite, you know that the Bucks and Kenny Omega work everything that happens in their matches and all that into the show. So the postscript of this is that in the aftermath of everything, we see the very last scene of this episode of Being the Elite is Kenny Omega walking through a hotel hallway. He's just walking and walking and walking. He finally gets to a door. He knocks on the door. The door opens. We don't see who it is that opens the door. You see the door opens and you see Kenny standing there. And then Ibushi walks up next to him. And then camera angle switches to be behind Kenny and Kota looking at the door, and we see it's the Bucks standing there. And Omega and Ibushi walk into the room when the door closes, and that's the end of the episode. Which leaves a lot of possibilities from here. A lot. So
I want to talk about Golden Lovers, Chris.
Talk to me. Yeah.
Chris, we all have that one person. You and I have talked about our respective one persons before in the past off the show. Mm-hmm. Right? Sometimes you get to be with that one person and life is great. And sometimes you're not with that one. And there's a hole in your psyche that star ratings and IWGP United States Championships and T-shirt sales and buy rates and leading a successful faction can't fill, no matter how hard you try to fill that hole. Mm-hmm. Kenny and Kota's one person is each other. And as a guy who got into Puro in large part because of these two, I was so happy when Golden Lovers finally came back together. Because it's not just the reunification of a great tag team. In a weekend with 3 home run angles in Suzuki killing Tanahashi, Gargano Ciampa, and Golden Lovers that all elicited 3 very different reactions. I think Golden Lovers hit me the most because it made me feel pure joy that even if just for a little while, these two dudes, two of the 10 best wrestlers in the world, have found their one. And Chris, man, who can't relate to that? You know?
Yeah.
Who can't relate to that? So,
what's not to love?
Yeah. What's not, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like we say this a lot. We say this a lot, but I trust Ghetto and company to get it right.
Let me talk 1 minute now. I don't like to bring the real life aspect of things into into play here, but they're following this because it's long been speculated. It's long been speculated, never confirmed, that Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi are actually in a romantic relationship with each other outside of the ring in real life. It's long been speculated because of their long history together, and whether it is true or is not.
I always thought Kenny Omega's sexuality was like an open secret.
Yes, he's openly said that he is bisexual.
Yeah, his bisexuality is not even an open secret; it's just an open.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but regardless, after this happened, wrestling Twitter was abuzz talking about this angle, and the amount of people who were coming out of the woodwork completely unbidden to immediately say, it's a work, it's a work, it's a work, they're not in a relationship, it's a work, it's not real, yada, yada, yada. Like, it greatly disappointed me. Like, and I've talked about my disappointment with some of the lower ends of wrestling Twitter and the wrestling fandom in the past. This is one thing that I was really disappointed. Like, the willingness of the fans to just, hit the delete button, just erase, like any possibility of this being a thing, because heaven forbid that we have a homosexual relationship among two people who are, smart favorites. Like, get over yourselves, folks. It's 2018.
I thought, you're not wrong. I thought Callis, who I normally hate, was sensational for this angle too. The way he was talking about it. Yeah, it's the fact that we're still fighting these wars is kind of pathetic, to be honest. So, and I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time, with these people. I'm not.
Yeah,
I got more important things.
I'm not either. Like, I just want to make that general statement.
You're not wrong for bringing it up. It's just like I have more important things to do, like anything else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, these two lost souls, man.
Yeah.
Like, so.
If regardless,
and they got their wacky buddies, the Young Bucks, which makes me happy.
Yeah, regardless of the real life implications of it, and if they are in fact together in real life, then you know what? God bless. I am the happiest I could possibly be for the two of them to have each other, because they very clearly have a special bond with each other, both in and out of the ring. So, regardless of the real life implications, what this means for the Bullet Club is yet to be seen. I imagine we'll see where this goes as the next 4 months play out, as we go through the New Japan Cup, Sakura Genesis, into Dominion. And I think that Dominion is where we're finally going to see the end result of this. Now, one wrinkle that I thought was really interesting was after this all went down, Bad Luck Fale, whose Twitter game is A+. By the
Very
way,
good.
If you don't follow Bad Luck Fale on Twitter, you really should. He is a social media savant. The dude gets it. He tweets out the hashtag BCOGs reading crab. What the hell happened with the elites tonight? Still keeping that seed alive.
Mm-hmm.
Still keeping that seed alive. That we may see the Bullet Club fracture, not along the lines that we think it will, but rather along the lines of who's been there, who's been in the trenches, who's been fighting the war for as long as the Bullet Club has been. I think we might see the Tongans, and maybe a couple of others versus all the 6 guys who make up being the Elite, because I don't see them carrying this storyline all the way until the All In show. Like before the All In show happens, like Kenny and Cody have to reconcile like in storyline before the All In show so that they can keep, make it, give that united front that's going to draw more ticket sales. I mean, unless they want the headline of the All In show to be Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes, grudge match, which I don't think they want to do.
I think that's going to be the headline of the show in New Orleans, in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
like Kenny and Cody, or Kenny and Kota versus Hangman and Rhodes, or something. Like a, or maybe even an 8-on-8, a 4-on-4 tag. The Golden Elite, as people are calling them on Twitter, versus Cody, Skrull, Page, and I don't know, Chase Owens, or some form or fashion. Which I am all in on that, by the way, no pun intended. If that is the match in New Orleans, I'm all in on that.
For sure.
As someone who will be there. So
I would not be surprised if what we see happen at Dominion is that we have a match to determine the leader of the Bullet Club between Kenny and Cody. Whoever wins. I imagine it would be Cody winning, and then as Cody's attempting to lead Tamatanga and Fale and Tangaroa and Yujiro and all them.
We are past time for a major stable shakeup in New Japan.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if after winning that match, Tamatanga then hits a gun stun on Cody Rhodes. Fale hits him with a bad luck fall, and they say, "Fuck that noise. We're the Bullet Club OGs, and we decide our future from now on." That would be something I would be all in for, because I've been saying since the G1 that that angle of the Bullet Club OGs versus the Elite is a money angle.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
We'll see. So, I mean, we are past due for some stable shakeup.
Yeah, and this is the right time to do it for Bullet Club. I feel the only thing that the only thing that I question. And this is the only thing that prevents me from saying this is definitely going to happen, is the merch deal. Because all that merchandise that's been selling at Hot Topic, all that Bullet Club merchandise is all for the Elite guys. But it still has the Bullet Club name on it. Like the only one that's not for the Elite guys is the Gorillas of Destiny shirt. The only thing that makes me hesitate on saying this is definitely a thing that's going to happen is the possibility that New Japan says, no, we want to keep the Bullet Club together because this merch deal is just going way too well, and we want to make sure that the Bullet Club name continues to be associated with these guys, and that it's not just the Elite, because Bullet Club has been around forever. That's the name that people recognize, and we don't want to take the chance of people losing the association. That's the only thing that gives me pause. But other than that, that's a storyline that I really am looking forward to seeing play out. This Bullet Club schism that's happening.
Yes. So.
All right. Real quick.
Sure.
Real quick. Let's let me just run down significant results of Fantastica Mania, which happened during the week of January. Was this the third week of January? Yeah. It started somewhere around I think it was the 12th, and it ran all the way until the 22nd. There were 8 shows during that 10-day span. I'm not going to run through the entirety of the results because that would take way too long. I'm just going to give the title results and the results of the Brothers Tag Team Tournament, which encompasses the final 3 nights, which was the 19th, the 21st, and the 22nd. On the 19th, we had 3 title matches. The CMLL World Middleweight Championship. Champion Angel De Oro lost his title to challenger Quattrero via high angle powerbomb into pin. The National Welterweight Championship, champion Soberano Jr. successfully defended against the challenger Sanson with the La Sobolana pin. La Sobolana into the pin. And then in the main event, the CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship, champion Niebla Roja successfully defended against Gran Guerrero with the Neblina in a 16-minute match that was said to be quite excellent. The 21st, we had the first round of the Brothers Tag Team Tournament. In the first round, Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero defeated Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja, and Dragon Lee and Mystico defeated Cuatrero and Sanson. And then the main event of the 21st was a match for the NWA World Historic Welterweight Championship, where champion Volador Jr. successfully defended against Barbaro Cavernario in a 22-minute match that was said to be the highlight of the entirety of Fantastica Mania. Definitely good stuff, and I highly recommend you check that one out if you have the World. The third place playoff of the Brothers Tag Team Tournament happened on the 22nd, where Cuatrero and Sanson defeated Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja. And in the finals of the Brothers Tag Team Tournament, Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero defeated Dragon Lee and Mystico in an 18-minute tag team match, which was also said to be quite wonderful. So those are your Fantastica Mania highlights. If you didn't get to check them out, those are some matches that we definitely recommend you check out. There were some other gems in there, such as a special singles match between Satoshi Kojima and Rush, and also Hirai Kawato's Excursion Farewell match, where he teamed with Atlantis versus Gedo and Barbaro Cavernario. Kawato's off on excursion now to Mexico, and because of New Japan Worlds, this was an interesting statistic that I read. Kawato's going to be the first young lion that we get to watch his excursion in its entirety through New Japan World, because he's going to be in CMLL.
Cool. That is cool.
So, if you are a fan of Hirai Kawato, and you should be because he is wonderful, you can watch his excursion as he learns from the best in Mexico. I expect that he is going to be a star down there, because he's already a freaking star. Even as a young lion, he's already a freaking star in New Japan. So, that's that. That's the show, guys.
Plugs.
Yeah. Episode 48, next week, we're going to be previewing the final night of New Beginning, which is New Beginning in Osaka, which has
Hiromu and Ospreay, and then Okada and Sonata, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Goto Evil as well.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So we'll be previewing all of that, and any other significant events that take place. There were some other things that happened during the course of this week in WWE, which we'll address next week, such as the announcement of Rockstar Spud, now renamed as Drake Maverick, as the GM of 205 Live.
The Cruiserweight tournament.
And we'll be talking about that and some other developments that took place on NXT TV this week, and I'm sure things that we'll see next week throughout the week on WWE as well, like the qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. So that'll be all for next week, episode 48. And just mark your calendars, because 4 weeks from tonight, March 1st, that's our 1-year anniversary show.
We should do something fun. We should have a party.
I don't know what the hell we're going to do.
I don't know.
We'll think of something. We're creative guys. We'll come up with something wild and fun to do. The only thing that we can't do is a live show where we're both on screen together at the same time, because I'm not going all the way to Chicago and George is not coming all the way to New York. But either way, we'll do something fun. We'll find a way to make it a good 1-year anniversary.
We'll do something fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Plugs. Yeah.
Plugs.
I got all of our friends and cohorts in the fellow wrestling podcast world. Don Sal with Match Fixing coming out soon. Still waiting for first publication date. Has that already started happening, or is it still in the pipeline? Do you know?
I do not know, my friend. We'll find out. We'll tweet about it.
Yep, we certainly will. As soon as we have our first episode of that, we will definitely retweet that for you guys to check out. Because as you all know, Don Sal is quite smart about this wrestling business, and you should definitely watch it or listen to his show. Our brothers in Shooting Debris, Take His Meaning, Mr. Dr. Senju, are every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check them out through their YouTube channel and through iTunes. Our friend of the show, Philip Dawson, with the Dawson Report, is also broadcasting Thursday afternoons, or where his shows are falling currently. Let me see where the actual time is. It's usually sometime around 3 in the afternoon on Thursdays. So if you're able to tune in, you can check it out live, or you can watch it on the video on demand afterwards on YouTube. It's also still in the pipeline, the Violent Wrestling Podcast with Ambrose Alley and Prince Moxley Lopez. Again, we will be sure to retweet the first episode of that once it hits the airwaves.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. And as always, you can check out all of our friends at the Married Marks, Facelock Feministas, and Net Your Demographic through all major podcasting syndication networks. Feel free to give them likes and listens. And any other significant wrestling podcast that you guys want us to give plugs to?
I got a plug.
Please do.
Chris and I were asked to contribute to the Voices of Wrestling Top 100 Match of the Year list.
Yes.
It is in the process of being released. Chris got one of his blurbs in there to talk about the power struggle match between Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
Voicesofwrestling.com to check out that top 100 list.
Yep.
One of I think there were about 110 people or ballots for this year, and Chris and I were asked to do it. So it was a lot of fun. We did it a couple weeks ago. But the list is starting to come out. The top 10 will be released tomorrow. Yep. So check that out, voicesofwrestling.com. And we were contributors to that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. We feel special.
Yeah, we're special.
We did good work on that one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You can follow the show on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 1 in the handle. And also follow us on iTunes. Click the link in the video description to find us and subscribe. Give us a rating. Give us a recommendation. Let everybody know to come and listen to us as well on Thursday nights. We appreciate having you all in the audience. We appreciate you guys bringing in new people to join the show every week. Thank you very much, as always.
Yeah, you guys rule.
Loyal listeners.
You guys rule. You're good people. We like hanging out with you.
Yep. Again, episode 48, same time next week. Actually, you know what? I just realized, didn't you say you were going to, what night is that house show that you're going to?
Saturday, March 3rd.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Saturday, March 3rd. I'm going to AEW the 17th to see Naito and Sami Callihan. And then I'm going to Raw at the United Center to see Brock, among others, Saturday, March 3rd.
Nice.
So, yeah, can't wait. I'm excited for those.
Good deal. I wanted to make sure because I wasn't sure if you had said it was they're a weeknight show or not.
No. They're both Saturdays. One is the 17th, AEW, featuring Callahan versus Naito in the main event, and the other one is March 3rd, WWE. I imagine Raw if Brock is there.
Yeah.
But I'm other than Brock being advertised, there is no planned card yet for that show. But WWE house shows are always a lot of fun. They're really good value. They're super fun. The talent has, the matches are good. So highly recommend it if they ever come to your area.
Yeah.
If the traveling circus, if Vince McMahon's traveling circus ever comes to your area for a house show, I would recommend that you check it out.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. If as far as that AEW show goes, let's hope that Callahan restrains himself from spitting and/or kissing Naito.
Yeah, don't do that. That's very stupid.
Yeah, Callahan. Yeah.
So
anyway, take us out, my friend.
As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for tweeting. I'm George. That's Chris. Don't work yourself into a shoot. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Have a good night.
Episode 47 is in the books.